Welcome to Lindamood-Bell Radio. I'm Dave Hungerford for Lindamood-Bell. Are you concerned about your child's literacy skills or academic performance? Lindamood-Bell Instruction for Reading, Comprehension, and Math helps students catch up or get ahead in learning. Students make extraordinary progress in just weeks and feel more confident and prepared for school. Instruction is available online and in person. Learn more and get started at lindamoodbell.com. Today's episode is a conversation I had in Coral Gables, Florida with Vanessa and Angel.
So my name is Vanessa. My son is Steven. He's 6 years old. He just finished kindergarten, going into first grade.
What kind of kid is he? What's he like to do?
He's very active. He's an active kid. He's very bright, but his attention span is very minimum. And he has a lot of potential, but never really likes to express it. So how we began this journey was he went to school, and basically they were saying, he was behind. He never really went to school. He started BPK4, and they felt that he wasn't where he should be.
So this is for 4-year-olds?
At this point, he started school at BPK4 at 4. Mm-hmm. But when he got into kindergarten, they felt that he was behind, that he should be reading and writing, and he wasn't. So they told us, to work with him a little bit more, to see if there's something that could be done to get him to where he has to be, because it was a very big classroom setting and they couldn't really slow down to get him where they needed to be.
And in kindergarten, I think back where I grew up, we didn't even have kindergarten. What kind of reading level do they expect a kid to be in kindergarten?
Reading paragraphs. It was, at least there where he was, it was intense. But yeah, definitely paragraphs.
So very competitive school, it sounds like.
They're ahead, when it comes to reading. Maybe they're a year or two more advanced. Mm-hmm. So that's where they wanted him to be, and he wasn't there. So
could he identify letters or?
He could not identify letters before he started with Lindamood-Bell. No, he knew his ABCs, but if you gave him a chart and you would tell him D or F, he wouldn't be able to point it out. He could only go in order from the alphabet A through Z. So
how about his comprehension? Like if you talked to him about things, did he understand what you were saying, or if you read something?
Yes, if you read something to him, he could tell you, like if you were like, the cat is in the hat, and then you asked him, Steven, where's the cat? He would be able to tell you in the hat. But what happened is that with reading comprehension, they would have, let's say, a paragraph, and then they would say A, B, C, D. So it would be cat, hat. But if he couldn't read, he really didn't know where he was in the, with the comprehension. Mm-hmm. So we started doing our research. We looked into a lot of programs, and we took him to a children's psychologist to make sure that it wasn't anything, that couldn't be fixed. And they told me, no, he's perfectly fine. He's exactly where he has to be. He's just, his brain is going faster than most normal kids, and he just has to keep busy, and like I said, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, like that. So I said, okay, fine. So that was in the beginning of the school year. We kind of just waited it out, started working with him, got him tutors outside, and we weren't progressing. So finally, I had heard a lot about Lindamood-Bell through the school. The psychologist has also a spell read program, but also told me he was already full, and he told me, why don't you try there they have a cram course, which is the same amount of time before the school year ends.
And this was Lindamood-Bell he was suggesting, or?
Yes, he was suggesting Lindamood-Bell because at that point, he didn't have any availability in his program. So he was the one that basically opened the doors and told us, go check it out. Although the school had mentioned it to us, but we kind of just honestly slept on it. We were, trying to do it on ourselves. So
where did you go to research it? You said you were researching different things. Did you watching
Online.
something online?
Online. I did it online, and then he did occupational therapy as well, because the only thing that came out on the actual reading, like the study that he did with the psychologist, was occupational therapy for fine motor skills and stuff like that. The teacher, the occupational therapist that he worked with, really said, it's very minimum what he has. We'll get through it, and also had recommended this program. So at that point, it was already word of mouth. Parents as well in his school told me the same thing. So I decided to try it out. We came over here. He did like a standardized test. It was 1 day of testing, and then right after, they sat with us and they told us exactly what they felt, how many hours a day that he needed, and they were very good at working with us, because he was still going to school, and I didn't want to. It was only for reading, and he wasn't going to go here full time, so I kind of needed to make sure that the school was okay with it. So they worked it out with the school and with
What was that schedule?
Well, he
2
goes
hours
to
a day,
school.
or?
He was coming here 1 hour a day.
1 hour a day.
They did recommend about 2-3 hours, a little bit more, but with just 1 hour, I said, let's try first 1 hour, and then let's take it from there. And with just 1 hour a day, every single morning he would come, Monday through Friday, and then from here he would go back. He would go to school. It was, and they kept you informed with everything.
Let's start with they kept you informed with everything.
They kept you informed with everything. So once a week they would meet with you, and they would tell you exactly. they would tell you exactly where he was. And one thing is to tell you, oh, he's doing better, but another thing is to sit with you and show you. So we would come once a week, sit down, and they would go over everything that he learned throughout that week, and he would demonstrate us what he was learning. So it was very impressive, because one thing is for somebody to tell you something, and another thing is to see it with your own eyes. And where he got, when we met, I think it was week 3, I think it was about maybe after 3 weeks, he was where we never thought he would be. I mean, he wasn't even, they were telling us he's not going to pass kindergarten. As parents, you struggle, because you want the best for your child, and knowing that he's not going to move forward, and how is he going to feel about that? And, where are you going wrong? It was devastating, but we began the journey, and I said, we're going to stick to it. He came for 6 weeks, and by the end of the school year, he was already reading. He was sounding out words.
30 hours, right?
About 30 hours. Yeah, it was about 6 weeks, Monday through Friday for 1 hour. And I would say in around week 3, he was already there. The rest was just a little bit of an extra push for him. They came to his school also to demonstrate. They took the time and they asked me, what can we do? I said, I really wish that you could go to the school, because I don't really know how to show them the way that you show them that he's there. And they don't work one-on-one with students. So they took their time out of their schedule, and they went over there to the school, and they demonstrated to the school. They kept us as parents involved, and they kept the teachers involved as well, principal, assistant principal. They were on top of everything. And they really worked with us when it came to just everything, in particular, the scheduling. And he was in baseball, he had occupational therapy, he had so many things, and they would never say no. They would always find the time. And what I saw in 6 weeks, I mean, money can't buy.
And so where is he now? He'll be going into...
He will be going into first grade. They did talk to us about a school as well that is a smaller setting for them, and that basically will give him everything that he needs. They have the same curriculum, basically, but just in a school setting.
Lindamood-Bell?
Yeah.
The academy?
Right. And they actually are involved with different schools, and they actually taught this school. So they told me, go over there, and why don't you check it out and see what you feel, because we taught we taught them the things that we do here. And, even with that, just helping us with things that they didn't have to really help us with. If you're not happy where he was, maybe that's just not the best setting for him. Why don't you take him to St. Thomas the Apostle and check it out? It's a small group setting. Like I said, we teach them everything that we know, and they're good because although that they're a school, they help other schools, with the curriculum and how they learn, because they really, hands down, I always said if I win the lotto, this would be the first place that I would, put all my chips in, because it was, just everything and how he felt. He was very down, and he felt great after.
I was going to say, how did that make you feel as a family when you start to realize your child, is he an only child?
He's an only child.
So how does that make you feel when
he finally got to where he should have been? He was wanting to go to school, wanting to show us, grabbing books, things that he never would do before because he was, embarrassed, or maybe just not embarrassed, he just wasn't interested in it. He would wake up every morning wanting to come here. Even days that he didn't have school, he would say, I want to, he never missed, maybe it was a teacher's planning day over there, but here they were still open. So he would still come here, and he was all for it. He was all for coming here every day. He had a smile on their face. He worked with everyone, So
do you think when he was in the struggling, challenging part, do you think he knew, though he was
yes,
4,
definitely.
5 or 6, he still knew?
He wouldn't tell you because he's very quiet into himself, but you could tell because he would say, let's say they would say something on the board, the teachers would pick him, and he really was not sure on what was going on. And he would tell me, Mom, I'm in school, and, they're asking me things, and everybody's staring at me, and I just don't know. I don't know. As much as I want to know, I don't know. And it would be hard, to see him come home, and you could tell that he would try, but he just wasn't picking up on it. And I knew that he needed that one-on-one, but you also want them to have, a social life. And yeah, you could do homeschooling or things like that, but that's really not, what it was about. And my thing was just, as well as, when I started seeing that he was, I don't want to go to school, the kids and things like that, you could tell without really saying it what he was trying to say. And it was heartbreaking because I said, I don't know how we're going to get. And when you go to the school and you heard, even in church, the kids would go on the podium and they would grab the Bible and they would read it, verses. And we were looking at each other like, they're not picking on us. This is surreal. He's not where he has to be. And you fight yourself and you try, and you go back and forth with what's best. But when I saw him and he just grabbed those books, and even till now, he took the summer and you grab him a book and he sounds out the word, just every word that it stuck to him, because it's something that they made it so repeatedly. Like it was an everyday thing, just the same thing, that even now, with even a break that he had throughout the summer, he pretty much picked up where he left off. I've worked with him, and sometimes you think, okay, well, he's going to forget what he learned. And no, he didn't forget. I have talked to parents with similar challenges, and I have always recommended Lindamood-Bell to all the parents that I have spoken to. I have actually written testimonials for Lindamood-Bell and have had parents from Texas, from all over the world, actually respond to me and ask me questions about my journey with them, and they wanted to know, how I felt about the entire thing, because I guess they're worldwide. It's not just here in Florida or in Miami, let's say. So I have reached out to a lot of parents, and I have always, hands down recommended it. And like I said, it's not about talking about it. It's not about a guarantee. It's about seeing it. And everything that they have told me from the beginning, I've seen the results. It's not that, anybody could just sell you a dream, but that dream came true.
You said you had a variety of tutors. What makes this approach different in your mind?
Well, I think it's fast-paced. I think it's more, they have a way of doing it, just with the flashcards, the way that they do things with the flashcards. I think that it's also the person that he works with. When he was here, he would work with different, because it wasn't just one one person. They would switch it up on him and stuff like that. But I just think that the way that they use their flashcards and the repetition and stuff like that, and they're very fast paced, they have a way of memory. I mean, I've worked with, tutors and stuff like that with him before coming here, and they just, it just wasn't, it wasn't, the information wasn't coming in. I don't know if the tutoring that I did it at home, and here it's actually at a facility, so if it was a little bit different. But I just think that the way, I don't know their interview process or how they pick these teachers, but it's incredible. I mean, and everyone, because like I said, it's just not one. Every day that he would come with a new teacher, and he would learn with that teacher. There's not one person that I could say that he worked with while being here that he didn't get, or that I had to say, you know what, that teacher's just not a good fit for him. They picked up right where he left off. He wasn't confused, because sometimes when, you have so many different people involved, you start becoming confused, or that never happened.
Pretty tightly controlled for not just their incoming skills, but you can tell if they're going to be a good fit if you've been around long enough. But also they speak the same language, so it's going to be real consistent. You have the consultant that does the lesson plans, and people that oversee that.
They're on top of everything, every single thing, anything that they see, anything that they pinpoint, and they're here to help, because although that they're a facility and they're a school, they themselves said, you know what, maybe changing him to something that's a smaller group setting, maybe changing him to something that we ourselves have helped schools. I mean, they don't have to, that's already out of their, out of their reach, and they really did reach out. And even when he did the testing for the new school that he's going to, they were involved the entire time. They reached out to the school. They showed the school what they've learned with him. They sent him test scores, where he's at, where he is at that moment, where he is gonna be, his potential. I mean, they really helped in every angle from beginning to end, and even with our personal things, because when it comes to, a school, you would think that, some people would be like, oh no, I'm not gonna help there because we're a facility. But no, they care about their students, and that's something that you never see. But they reach out to you, they tell you what they think, they take their time, they go to the school, they show their teachers, they keep you informed, all the teachers and stuff like that. And even then, they give their opinion in a very nice way on what they feel. And I would have never thought that I would have changed my son out of the school that he was in. But when they told me, and I went to where St. Thomas the Apostle, it was incredible. I felt at home like I feel here.
What do you see for his near future with this? His reading, is he going to continue to progress?
He is. I'm working with him a lot, and I will continue to, do sessions here, like tutoring sessions, not as in that I was doing, on a daily basis, but I would definitely continue to do it. And the minute that I ever see when he starts school now, if they ever tell me that he's falling behind in anything, even in reading or writing or anything like that, he would be right back here.
Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Well, my name is Angel Mia.
So, what would you like to add about Stephen's challenges? How did you feel when you learned about kind of the challenges he was going through when he was younger?
You could see it. You can see it in his body language and who he is. When his confidence at school, it wasn't the same energy from day one, where he didn't know what he was getting into, and he was just like, I can't wait to go to school, can't wait to meet new people, can't wait to see what I'm going to learn, to when I'm falling behind, people are yelling at me, I don't want to go to school, and you start feeling that. You start asking, like, what's going on? Why are you feeling this way? You try to help him as much as you can. And when we got to the bottom of it, the teacher started telling us, look, you guys need to work with him. You guys need to go to this specialist. You need to go, they try to pinpoint all kinds of things on him. They try to say that, oh, maybe he has some type of deficiency. Maybe he has, which is fine and it's okay, but, let's identify it. Let's find what we can do. Let's get the help that we need. And at the end of the day, all he needed was somebody that had, this kind of background, like Lindamood-Bell, that knew what to do. They've seen it before.
That can put a lot of stress on a family, especially if it's an only child.
Oh, definitely. I mean, when you don't know what to do. You know, I have my own business. My wife, you know, she helps out. She also has her own job. And it's very difficult for us to, you know, try to sit down and let's do 2-3 hours of tutoring. Let's go through letters. Let's go through reading. Let's go. And not only that, we don't have the, you know, the background that you guys have, you know.
Especially as I would imagine it's kind of, you know, you're thinking, well, we're relying on you as the teacher to teach them how to do this, and now you're putting it back on us. It's like, who's the professional in education in the room?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I felt that, you know, they let us down. They let my son down. You know, 2 years he went to this, you know, private school. I mean, this is not some school that, you know, it's cheap. You know, this is very expensive. And you would think that for the amount of money you're paying and being private, that he's going to get second to none education, that there's not going to be an issue, that there's not going to be any, you know, ifs, ands, and buts, you know, that you're going to identify a problem if you know that there's one and you're going to fix it. Not tell me, take them here, take them there, do this, do that. And, you know, thank God, I don't know what happened. My wife came to us, you know, she came to me and my son and said, hey, we're going to go try out this new school. And we've been to plenty of places. And, you know, I was like, oh, here we go again, you know, another school with no results. This is just another, you know, cash entity that needs money. And I came here, first day I came to the door, you know, I felt very welcome. You know, the environment was different for us. You know, my son Steven, he started feeling like, oh, you know, look at all these kids playing around. It looks safe, it looks fun. And immediately, I feel like a weight started coming off our shoulders, and we were wondering, like, oh, I hope this is the one that's going to change everything. And they sat down with us. They did the interview. They told us what to expect. They told us exactly what they're going to need from him, what they're going to need from us is just to bring him, you know, make sure we don't miss a days, and, you know, just try to back up whatever they teach and how they do it. And when he started, you can see that he really, really loved. Like, I asked him, do you like it or you love it? And he would tell me, I love it, Dad. I love it. I want to go tomorrow. I want to go the next day. I want to go the next day. And to see that in my son, it was like, wow, this is day one of when we took him to that school and we lost it. And he's getting it back here. And that's what I needed, because the school told us a kid could shut down. And once they shut down, you lost them forever. And he started down that route. And when they came here, it's kind of like they unlocked that shutdown, and he...
Forever's a long time when you're talking about a 5-year-old. That's a little cynical of a view, I think.
Well, the school is, they have very high standards. Yeah. And they, you know, I kind of felt like they were picking on him at first, or they were picking on us, or I don't understand what they were up to, or why they were telling us, oh, you know, maybe you should put him in another school. Maybe you should take him out of here. Maybe you should put him in public school. And they couldn't figure out how to teach him. They couldn't figure out, you know, okay, so they took him to a specialist. They came back with nothing. So what is it? Is he lazy? Is he this? Is he that? Is it not teachable? Is he a learning disability? And, you know, I brought him to Lindamood-Bell. There was no excuses. There was no, I can't do it. You need to go to another school. There wasn't, you know, oh, take him to a specialist to see what's wrong with him. Immediately, they sat down with him. They did the you know, I don't know, what name do you guys give the assessment?
They take a variety of tests from different batteries and do the learning about, like a learning ability evaluation. They combine them to look at, as you know, this part of reading, comprehension, vocabulary, whatever the different component parts are.
So as soon as he came here, they tested him, and they pinpointed exactly what he needed and how they were going to do it. And I just thank Lindamood-Bell, the founder. However she figured it out, you know, whatever it is working. And thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for listening. Learn more about us at lindamoodbell.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We are Lindamood-Bell.